Stance it. Horse. Kenpo. And out. All right, well, welcome back. We are doing the next group of techniques for our curriculum as we run through the system. Remember, I've stated in previous videos, we run our curriculum through a 6-week rotation. So we are now on week number 3. So it starts with technique number 3 of each belt and skip every 4 until you're done with the belt and move on to the next. But it gives you, in the first grouping, 19 or 20 techniques that we'll work on today. And in a couple nights we'll do the next set. So today, again, just like last week, we're doing the yellow belt techniques through the green belt techniques. Yellow belt through green belt of just the techniques, the curriculum that we're doing for this particular week. All right, let's get started. So first, remember we also talked about we have techniques and we have the plus category, So as some of you guys very quickly warm up with us, let's go to attention stance. So this week's plus category is foot maneuvers and stances. Foot maneuvers and stances. So if we're in an attention stance, now go to a horse stance. And now go to a left neutral bow. And now a forward bow. Reverse forward bow. Back to a forward bow. And a neutral bow. And of course, cat stance. Crane stance. Back to cat. And crane. And back to cat. And up to neutral. And switch. And cat stance. And neutral bow. And crane stance. Cat stance. Neutral bow. Forward bow. Reverse forward bow. Back to forward bow. Neutral bow. Wide kneel. Back to neutral bow. Forward bow. Close kneel. Back to forward bow. Neutral bow. Good. Let's walk through foot maneuvers. Ready? And step through. Step through. And now in reverse. Step to reverse. Step to reverse. Step to reverse. Drag step. Coming forward. Drag step. Drag step. Same thing in reverse. Drag step. Drag step. Drag step. Good. And now a step drag. Step drag forward. And again forward. And again forward. And again forward. And step drag reverse. And reverse. Step drag reverse. Step drag reverse. Good. Push drag. And forward. Pushing off the back foot. And forward. And forward. So push drag is a little more aggressive than a simple step drag. A lot more thrust action with it. Push drag reverse. Push drag reverse. Push drag reverse. And switch. Very good. So those are not all of our foot maneuvers, of course. Those are just some of the foot maneuvers. But again, stances and foot maneuvers are the main thing in terms of the plus category we're working on this week. So work on all your techniques that we've pulled out for this week and the plus category, which this week is foot maneuvers and stances. So if you look at stance set 1, that's all you're working on, is foot maneuvers and stances. There's no hand positioning, there's no striking of any kind. It's just foot maneuvers and stances. So let's move up a little further up. Let's do stance set 1. Stance set 1. So we're in a tense stance, and bow, and horse stance. So we know that as soon as we start counting, as soon as we hit our first stance, our hands come to our hips. So 1, and the reason our hands come to our hips, one of the reasons is we don't need to have them in any particular position, so it's easy just to make them stationary. The other, though, is when you're going through all your stances and you're trying to check your form, you visually look in the mirror. It's one of the reasons we have so many mirrors in all these dojos, to look and see if your hips are in the right position, because this is where all the power comes from, is the center of your body. So you want to make sure the hips are in the right position. So you can visually see they are, but also you can use your sense of touch. You can feel. So when you start turning the hips, you know if they're forward or back, if they're on a 45, if they're on a 90, if they're higher or lower, whatever they are. So this adds a sense of touch. So that's stance number 1 of stance set 1, 2, and left foot goes back 3. We do everything on the right side first, so it's a right neutral bow first. That's neutral bow. That's count number 3. 4 is a cat stance. 5 is a horse stance. Now right foot steps back. 6 is a left neutral bow. 7 is a left cat stance. All right, so if you're at move number 7 and you're in a left cat stance, you are correct so far. Now we're going to work on twist stances. There's a few different ways to get there, but we'll check out 2 today. So we do a rear cross to a twist stance. And remember, in a twist stance, your foot, hips, and shoulders are all pointing in the same direction. So if you're in a 45-degree angle twist stance, that front foot's on a 45. So are your hips and your shoulders. You're still looking straight ahead at the opponent, but your hips and shoulders are on the 45, same as your foot. And then unwind, that's number 9. Another twist stance, 10. And then unwind. Now you go to reverse bow, and then forward bow. And now you're going to switch front to back to a neutral bow, and then reverse bow, and forward bow. And now you're going to do an in-place twist stance, and in-place twist, and then thread through that knee to a side horse, another in-place twist, unwind to a neutral, back to a horse, to attention, meditate, and close. So this is stance set 1, stance set 1. All right, so in another week we'll go through katas and sets, and when we do stance set 1 later on, I'll go into much more detail and in depth about how we get from one position to the next and how they're all related and things like that, all right? But in that stance, in that set rather, you're isolating simply foot maneuvers, some foot maneuvers, and stances, some stances. Not all foot maneuvers, not all stances, but some. Okay. So let's start with our first technique. First technique of the techniques of the week is sword of destruction. Sword of destruction is for a left roundhouse punch. So we're going to step back on a 45-degree angle with an extended outward block. Left hand is up checking and striking out. Again, like you have a knife in your hand, stabbing on the 45-degree angle. So the opponent's in front of you, but when they strike, their punch is coming in a circular fashion, so the energy is really coming from this angle. That's why we step back on that. Creates a brace. So sword of destruction, immediately then you come to your cat. And again, if this is wrist, his body is still over here somewhere. So we still kick to the groin and land. When you land, snap it out and back. Don't thrust it, you have your face open. For this one, snap, come right back so your hands check it against their arm. Ready? So if you guys can line up. And Mr. Lauer is going to attack Dasha, so he comes in with a left roundhouse punch, so she blocks, goes to a cat stance, kicks and chops. And one more time, she blocks, cat stance, kick and chop. Good, now opposite side. Ready? She sits back and blocks, cat stance, kick and chop. Good. All right. So again, thank you, Dasha, Mr. Lauer. So if he's my 12 and he's coming this way, I'm coming off on an angle. So if I step straight back and he's coming in this direction and I have my arm up, the only thing stopping him is my shoulder strength. And with my arm extended this far, he's got a lot of power coming in, I'm not going to be able to stop that, more than likely. So, but if I step here, now I'm lined up in the same angle. So my foot and my arm are all in the same line. That's called a bracing angle. So if his action is coming this way and my body is on the same line, that's the strength. So, but if I'm back over here, it's just my shoulder muscle. That's no good. So you have to have that bracing angle. Okay? All right. All right. And moving on. And checking the storm. Checking the storm, we want to make sure a lot of folks will do this as a big double parry. It's technically not. This one hand checks and the other hand comes around with an outward hand sword. So it looks like this might be doing a parry. Technically it's not. If you have an overhead club coming, this hand is going to strike. If you stayed here, you might do a double move action against it. But technically you're trying to get way over to here. You're trying to move the target so the weapon, the club, goes by you. So this hand just comes up. As you pass through your horse stance, this is coming out here. You should already be here when that foot lands. And then simply from that position, you slide. All right? Then you do your ball kick and and land, and then knife edge kick and back knuckle. So let's do it in the air one more time. So slide off to a horse and then a cat, and kick to the groin and land. Step your knife edge kick and back knuckle. Okay? So you have distance between the opponent and yourself. So now get on the diagonal again. Goes Mr. Lauer, swings, Dasha shoots off to the side, immediately kicks the groin, and at that point, when you're working with each other, move your right foot back, because that's the next target. You don't want to have it close enough to where this person, even your partner, can accidentally hurt your knee. All right, keep yourself safe if you're doing these. She steps in and snaps a kick to his knee, and then lands to the center of his body, and does a back knuckle. Okay, now switch positions. So again, remember, we reiterate this constantly in all classes, all private lessons, all semi-privates, all seminars. Move weapon, move target. Move weapon, move target. So in this one, she's not technically going to be moving the weapon, she's really just moving the target, her. Unless the weapon got close enough, that's what this arm is for. It's through an outward hand sword, preferably to the arm. So she shoots off one all the way off to the cat, and then she kicks the groin, goes after the knee, and does a back knuckle. And Dasha, thank you. Now, Mr. Lauer, so a lot of you guys, when they step in, so when you're here, when you do that knife edge kick, a lot of people land here and then do a back knuckle over here. Your toe heel alignment is fine for that target. So if I'm kicking his knee, I want my toe heel alignment straight towards that knee, so you get maximum power there. But when I land, my next target is on his center line. It's not over there on this width zone, it's on this width zone. So I kick and I land between his feet. And now my toe heel alignment lines up to the center of his body, and that's where this is. So you don't want to be on this side, and you don't want to be way over here. They're both awkward. Here's where you maximize your power, height, width, and depth. So when you're coming through to that knee, boom, yes, you're lined up this way. So as soon as you land, though, you have to land over here. Back on. Okay? All right, good. And all right, so for the yellow belt, those are the two techniques we're working on. That was number 3 and number 7. All right, now let's move on to the orange belt. So 5 swords. So 5 swords is one of the original techniques as well. Predominantly, all the techniques, all the attacks in Kenpo for right-handed attacks, because most people are right-handed. And most are against a punch, because that's usually how, most assailants will be men throughout the course of history. And most men are right-handed, and most men, their first line of offense will be a punch. So we have a lot of attacks against the right-hand punch. So this is a circular punch, but it obviously works against a roundhouse punch as well. I mean, a straight punch. So whether circular or linear, it's fine. It works against a left-hand grab, a push. It works against lots of things. But for technically, we first teach 5 swords, teach them step in and block. This is an inward block. That's an extended outward block done together, hitting near the wrist and hitting up on the bicep. So that's just your first move. Yes, defensive when it first starts, but it becomes offensive. The 5 swords start with 1 sword to the side of the neck, heel palm to the jaw. Some of you guys do the spear, and that's fine. When you're first teaching someone, Mr. Parker thought it was best to have a heel palm to the jaw, and I agreed, so we wrote it with a heel palm to the jaw. And then uppercut punch to the stomach. Now off angle, when I first learned this, I learned twist stance, but Mr. Parker said no, he wants a forward bow. And they both have their merit, but it's a forward bow. So shoot off, boom, forward bow, so strike to the left side of the neck, hook, pull down, and strike to the back of the neck. Alright, so let's see Dasha and Iron. So he punches, she steps into blocks. So she's technically has 3 points of contact. Her knee is striking his knee, inside her, the front of her knee, the inside of his knee, and she has 2 arms touching his arm. Now the 5 swords starts. So she hand swords to the side of the neck, and then heel palms the jaw, uppercut punch the stomach, but she doesn't stay there with the next move, and she wants a stable move. So she off angles to a forward bow and hits the other side of his neck. Now hooks, pulls it down, and chops it back with his neck. She has 3 strikes to the neck in one technique. Ready, one more time from that position, and she goes. So now 1, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and now switch directions, and step in block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, good. Thank you, Dasha. So we're doing this one, and where we start from this position, a lot of times like I say, we can go on this technique forever. But one of the ideas is make sure you teach your students to make that block. Make sure they damage that arm so they can't come back with it. All right, don't start right away going off, and as soon as you hit, you're into the next 2 moves. Just make sure you're not getting hit in the head. People start cutting in too fast, and they're blocking here, and the punch is so hard it knocks them off their feet. Just hit it. This transition I want you to work on today, though, usually you're going 1, 2, and then people do 3. So they kind of work on the 1, 2, 3, and that's fine. And then from there they work on the 4, 5, 6. I want you to work on the transition. So if we're here, work on the transition. So when you're here, from the heel palm, you're in a 4 bow. You're going to go neutral bow off the 4 bow. So you're in a 4 bow, and you're going to go boom. As soon as you're in a 4 bow, you pivot and hit, and then punch off your back foot. So you're hitting, boom, and shooting right back in. So you're hitting and going straight up. You're hitting and straight up. So when you're here, you're to the face. Soon as you hit, this hand's going to go right to the other side. And as fast as you can do that, you've got to step that foot. So if you're in this position, unwind and boom. So you're not here anymore, you're here. You're in this position and you uppercut and boom. Have your hands just off to the side. If you look at Detour from Doom, on Detour from Doom, we're in this position, right? You've done the bing, the boom, bang. You're in this position. On Detour from Doom, you go from a 4 bow up to a horse. When you do that, you strike here. So I'm here, and you go you pivot to the horse. 4 bow, hit. So 4 bow, and then hit back around. In this one, you go 4 bow, and then you go neutral. So it's really neutral bow, come up the circle here. Neutral bow, come up and here. They're just backwards, but they're both very powerful. Okay, so try that. Work that transition between 2 to 3 to 4 as you come off. 2 and then 3, 4, then back down. That transition. The first and last part, great. That transition. All right, Dosh. And lone kimono. Lone kimono, left hand lapel grab. So you're going to come up and grab. Pin it, step back. The moment you land, you're going back, you're going down, and you're rotating. Boom, so you have that power. Just like you're punching to the face of someone who's taller than you up here, but their arm is here, you come underneath, bam. Now come around, hammer on top, and strike with the hand sword. If they're grabbing you and their palm's not up, you grab it and just turn it. Keep your elbow anchored, turn it as you step back. But one, everybody, and then come around, hit, got that body weight, and strike back to the throat. So face each other, guys. So Lauer grabs her, she pins, and step back. 1, come around, 2, 3. Good, one more time. And 1, come around, 2, 3. Good, opposite side. Ready, and 1. Come around, 2, 3. One more time. And 1. Come around, 2, 3. All right, good. So again, when he's grabbing it, say he doesn't grab with his palm up. Right now his palm is down. Grab it. Remember, anytime you grab it so you remember you grab it. So grab it, and as you step, turn. See, I don't have to turn it with my hands so much. It's a little bit, but mainly I'm just turning my body. When I turn my body, it turns his palm up a little bit. That's all I really need. Because I'm not really coming from directly under. I'm coming from up on a 45. Boom. And then come around and hit. Here's another thing about that one. Mr. Lauer is very strong. The gi wasn't on, you see he has really large muscles.
So if he doesn't want, if he knows what I'm going to do, he has an idea, or he's just grabbing me tight and his arm's bent, it's hard when I go back to break a bent arm. It's hard to damage it much at all coming from underneath. Lots we can do. So his arm's bent. So say you come back and that doesn't work. It's like, oh, too strong. In order for me, for this not to work, he must be flexing and trying to do this flexion and pulling me in slightly. That's what he's trying to do, keep his arm bent. That's great, because this then turns into a fake. The more this doesn't work, the more I know he's pulling in, and then come around and hit. So if he was tightening up and trying to flex, go with him and hit back down, because really, the target is there. That's the target, that's the thing that's going to stop. This isn't going to, even breaking tough guy's arms, isn't going to stop necessarily. Come down and hammer him, not going to necessarily stop him. Hit him in the throat, that'll stop him. Okay? So whether, even if it doesn't work, this just turned into a fake. You fake it one way, boom, then come back around the other way. Drop that weight and straight back into the throat. All right, so don't worry about it. Hey, his arm was bent. I really couldn't get his arm straightened up. Don't worry about it. Hit it, come around and just land hard. Plus, you can see he's very, very close. So if he's out here, I'm a little taller, so I can still reach him, but not great. But if he's bending his arm, and I go to here and I can't get it, he's real close. So when I come around, hit here, even accidentally, I'm probably going to hit him in the face. I'm probably going to hit him, which is a beautiful thing. So we're here now, pop, and then hit. Okay? So it works out almost better. All right. Glancing salute. Like many techniques, if we teach it stepping forward or back, many times they're interchangeable. And this is one of those times. It's sometimes definitely easier to do this technique, glancing salute, stepping back, but we step forward. Stepping forward is a little harder, but it gives you a better angle and a little more power. So as they come with their cross push, we step forward and our hands come up. One of the things I learned with Mr. Parker is I used to try to do this arm break with just arm strength and speed. He said, no, just bring your hands up. Pin one hand to your body, the other hand goes back behind their elbow. Keep these locked. He says, Brian, don't even push-pull at all. Simply just turn your hips. And once I did that, I saw what he was talking about. Just break their arm that way. So we all step in and bring our hands up, turn our hips. The act of locking out your leg and rotating your body, they have a straight arm in this channel. I just move the channel. And that'll break their arm. And now check it down. So break their arm, get rid of the debris. So don't leave their arm up here dangling around. Push it into their body as you heel palm, hook around. And then it's a roundhouse knee strike with my push and my pull still happening. Boom. 3 points of contact. Elbow to face, check the arm, check the knee. 3 points of contact. Ready? Let's see that one in the air first. Again, stepping in and break. Check down, clear away the debris, meaning their broken arm, and shoot, hit the chin. And remember, glancing salute. So you salute and glance it behind. Hit them, and then hook behind. And then roundhouse knee strike, and elbow. And as you do the roundhouse knee, pull down a little bit. Pull on their neck. Boom, pull down. Ready? And now on each other. This Laura's going to come in and push. One. She checks down. And heel palm and hook. And that kind of moves them back. And then knee strike. That. And then elbow. That knee strike, why you do a roundhouse step through, a step through roundhouse knee strike, is to literally not just hurt him, but move him back. Make him take that step back. Move them physically back. It's not one of those when you come in this way and then hit. It's a step through roundhouse. And go. Check down, hit. Yeah. Good. And one more time. There you go. Good. So when we're doing it, you just simply come in with your hands up and just break. So as he's coming in, I step in and just hit it. Just hit it right away. So as I'm stepping off, I'm starting to move. My hands are already coming up. But I really want to strike his hand first. As I come up, I say we bring our hands in position. But of course, you're coming up and starting to do a little bit of a pop. Mainly here. Mainly there, as this one's in position. Then, just turn, boom. It's all hips. Then, boom. Remember, glancing, we have a lot of techniques where we hit, and then hook behind, and then do our knee. When you're doing finger set. You have a technique at the end where you're hitting them. So when we're coming in, we're going to go here, boom. So at the end of finger set, pop, pop. What that is, you're hitting someone from behind, hitting them here, which launches their face forward. But then, like I always say, like the road runner with the coyote, he hits, and then come in front of it and catch it. So you hit the head that way, you move the target, because your next target's the eye. You come in and hook it as he lands in your eye, and pretend like this is in his eye socket, I'll put it in his forehead, then you just anchor back. So my elbow's back here, as we push with my elbow and pull with my fingers. So from this position, we're going, boom, it's quick, so it's hitting the mastoid, hooking the eyes, and anchoring. So it's pop, pop, okay? This is the same way. You're hitting and going behind. You're hitting and going behind. Don't hit it, let it go away. All right, good. And bring it back. Next, repeating mace. Repeating mace. So repeating mace is for a left push. From a natural stance, the way Mr. Parker described this to me, he says, Brian, have you ever seen a door that's cut in half and one half go this way and one half go that way? And oddly enough, in the house I grew up in had a door like that. He says, well, don't be a door like that. We have techniques where the bottom half of the door will open or close and the top half goes after it. He says, this isn't that one. When you're doing your step, the whole door just opens up. Just open. And there's reason for that, but we're going to outward hooking parry as we hammer. So these go together. And these go together, so as he's coming in, I go out and meet it to beat it. So I don't go here, I go out. So I'm going to come out here as my hand comes to hit him in the kidney. And we say the kidney because when I step, I'm stepping all the way to here. And as I do, this is coming around. He's still moving forward, so I'm striking. I'm striking through his body and let it whip off my body like a pair of nunchucks. And then hit back to his body again with the back fist, and that's to the front of his left ribs. And then, boom, same kick you did in the reversing mace. So let's see it on each other. So it's for a left straight push from a natural stance. So 1, 2, and 3. So again, get off their line. Whatever line they're coming on, get off of their line. 45 degrees. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Opposite direction, ready? And 1, 2, and 3. Good. So when we're doing this, so as he's coming in, remember, I want to get, boom, I want to get that hand up and out. Even if my feet get stuck to the ground, I'm not moving quite fast enough. Get these things happening, so at least I've got something coming in. This one got out, this one got in. But really, you're coming off to the side. So as this position, hit, come all the way through, but it's the kidney. Remember, as soon as you come, I keep this hand here, this is important. Come through and then loosen it up. Remember, your arm is only tense, your fist is only tense on contact. It's tense, then it loosens up. So it's tense, okay. So you're here, and then it whips, and everything's loose at this point. And you'll see my body comes in first, and this one's trailing behind. It's the end of the whip. This is the handle of the whip. And this is the end of the whip, it's coming in. So as you're coming in this way, it's all the way through. Okay, and that's we're going to all our other stuff. But we did this same move in Gathering Clouds before. We come in and strike this way and hit. Now it's the same idea and hit. Same idea. The whipping action. Tense as you strike, loose, tense as you strike. Okay? In the air one more time, facing 12 though, natural stance. Remember, step back on a 45. 1, 2, and 3. Repeating mace number 15 of the orange. And let's move on to purple. And let's see, obscure wing. So natural stance. So technically, again, the person could be any given place. When we practice this, we say they're off to your right flank. So not necessarily right to 3, not to 6, somewhere around 4:30. So step off, when you first teach it, tell them either way, just step off to a horse. Yes, they might have to step back there a little bit, it depends. When we first teach it, grab hand, as you look, step, elbow. Second shortest technique in the system. Hammer, and then elbow. So, palm is up, palm is towards you, see the palm is facing me now. Turn it and open the hand. Why have your hand open on this last move as opposed to closed? Because when you close your hand, it limits your maneuverability. You can't get quite as high, quite as comfortably as if you open your hand and snap it up. Gives you a little bit more. Same thing when we strike sometimes. Instead of with this weapon, have a closed hand, because now closed, it gives us a much stronger, tighter weapon. Yeah, not as much flexibility, but we don't need it in this strike. In this strike, we need it. If you have any kind of shoulder issues or the person's a little taller than you thought, you want to make sure, boom, you can get up to their jaw, no problem. Having a closed fist doesn't help you, it actually impedes you. All right, so let's see that one. So from a natural stance, face 12 this time. And she grabs, looks, and steps and elbows. So see, she had to step a little bit more towards 430, which is great. And then hammers the groin. Both those actions bring the next target down. She has actions that created a reaction that feeds now into her last action. She snaps it up and down. Okay, when you're practicing this, it's always good to practice one hand underneath, just so the elbow doesn't, she can practice a little harder, a little more spirited technique, and not worry as much hurting your partner. So she grabs, steps off in 1, 2, and 3. Ready? One more time. And 1, 2, 3. Good. And let's move on. Again, even that one, I can say a lot more, but want to get to these other techniques that are a little more involved. And rainy claw. Rainy claw. First couple years of my Kenpo, this was my favorite technique. I used this once in an altercation, a variation of this. It's a beautiful technique. I've always loved the sense. So, low punch coming in, low uppercut punch. Now, again, we say uppercut punch. Uppercut punch means a close range weapon. So if Mr. Lau is here, remember, this would be a long range weapon, a medium range weapon, an elbow, so close range or short range weapon. An uppercut's the same thing. I'm not punching out here, I'm not coming here, that's medium range. I'm coming here. This is my goal. So that's the same distance as an elbow, short range. So very, very close to you. So natural stance. So as that comes in, definitely step back, bring this around, and hammer. See my hand comes down and torques. Hammer down that arm, much like alternating maces, but more of a downward. Alternating maces is more on the diagonal. This one is right here. So strike back and hit. So from this strike, already have your claw ready. Remember, in the previous lesson we talked about dipping this weapon in bronze and now keeping it in that configuration so it doesn't turn. Make it solid. So when I hit, I'm ready with this thing. Now I push drag forward, although I'm very close to them. Their head should be right about here. Still, push drag forward, boom, and raining claw. That means it circles higher than the target. The target's right about here. Rain down, down on the bridge of the nose, hitting with the palm, blunt force trauma, and then clawing through the face. Boom, and then uppercut punch. Still out here checking as we strike. So if we did it facing this direction, you guys, we'll drop back 1. And from this position, I'm going to claw, but watch, I push drag up my back foot with a very aggressive position. The foot maneuver, just like we did before, it's very aggressive. It's not step drag, push drag. And we pop. So we're hitting down. It becomes circular, hitting down, and then uppercut. So your hands, if you look at us from the side view, it's 1, 2, 3. Circle, circle, uppercuts, linear. Circle, definite circle, uppercut. More of an oblong circle, but 1, 2, 3. Easy technique, fast technique, extremely versatile technique. Universal in nature, we work against many, many things. So here we go, facing each other. And Dasha sets back and blocks. Right there, she's already got her hand up, checking, just in case. And now shuffles in, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one more time. So she draws back, she already has this hand here, just ready to push off the back foot. Boom, get that power. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bang, bang. Nice, opposite side. And 1, 2, 3. Good. All right? So again, on those oblong circles. And it's nice about it, again, like I say, we just drop. And it's so close. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a story, it's a long story. But it's accidental strikes that happen that you didn't plan on, but they usually turn out to be advantageous. So if he's that close, and you're just stepping back and striking, there's a good chance you're going to hit him in the face anyway. But you drop back and it hits right from that position. See, I'm already here. I'm not back here, I'm here. And it just pushes off the back foot. These work together, and it comes this way though. So it doesn't come straight in. Claw it down, boom. So you're hitting this way, then up. So you're going 1 and then 2, 3. 1. Even if you were back further, you still shuffle in all the way. And hit 2, 3. Push off and 2, 3. So reach across that thing. Ready? Here we go. And crushing hammer. Crushing hammer is for a rear bear hug, arms pinned. Again, if they have your arms pinned, it's probably somewhere around the elbow joint. You probably still, though, can reach up and get a slight bit of control, a modicum of control, by grabbing their hands. So don't just have this hand do nothing. We want to try to have every hand have a job, every part of your body have a job. So the job of this hand is to grab, step off, boom, hammer. So remember, I didn't cock my hand up, I didn't raise my hand up, I just went straight back from where it is and turned my hips to get power. So from position, from here, you just hit them in the groin. Stay in contact with the groin, slide up, you're going to shoot behind their leg and strike a second time, this time with an open hand, to the groin and grab the target. Boom. So you're striking, grab now behind his left leg, behind both his legs, just outside his left. Hit the groin, grab the groin. Hang on. Pivot from a reverse bow to a horse stance. Tear. That's an obscure elbow to the jaw as you take the part of the last target with you and rotate. Boom. This position. Okay? We talked before about different strikes. So if we have a strike to the throat, so we can do damage while we go in, hit in the throat with the crab hand pinch. The strike itself is vicious because you have the thumb and the 2 fingers and the web going in. So either side, so it's a great target, weapon rather, but it gets all the way deep. These things you're going to try to get in a couple inches, if not more. So you're going to shoot all the way in. So that's enough damage, that's a lot of damage. But once you're in, while you're there, so you did damage while you entered, damage while you're there. That means just crush, squeeze, whatever target it is. Today we're saying it's the throat or the groin. Squeeze and crush. So while you're there, crush it, do more damage. And then as you exit, just take whatever it was with you. So those are the 3 phases of the ultimate destruction of a target. So think of it that way. So once we come back and hit the groin, so once we go behind him, and we just came behind and hit the second time, you're going to grab on to the groin. And as you turn to hit him in the jaw, you don't let go of it, hit him. We take that with him. So boom, it has a bit of an effect of moving their body up. Also, it's a terrible injury to the groin. As we tailor up, boom, hit the jaw, keep coming over, hit the solar crest. Okay? All right, good. And let's see that one, guys. So on the numbers, they step off 1. She doesn't try to move her upper body too much right now. She slides her foot up and back and hits the groin again. Boom. And she grabs, she turns to a horse stance. Now again, horse and elbow. Now from at that position, she obviously doesn't stop here, but this is what you have to know. You have to pass through this stance while that elbow is hitting his jaw. And then she continues, hits him with the heel bump and the shoulder press, and then he goes down. One more time. So she steps off 1. Slides up, shoots behind, hits him the second time. So she's not trying to get away. She's not trying to get out of there. She's actually staying there and doing what she can. And then she pivots, elbows, and heel palm. All the way to that forward bow. Okay, crushing hammer. Let's see it at 12 o'clock, all of us. Ready? So, crushing hammer, we step off 1. Slide up, shoot. Grabbing. Elbow, heel palm. Ready, one more time. And 1. Drag up, strike, and elbow heel. thrusting prongs. So thrusting prongs is for a front bear hug arm pin. So the last technique, crescent hammer, was for a rear bear hug arm pin. Now it's a front bear hug arm pin. So we're going to drop back with our right foot and hit to thumb strikes. Technically it's to the bladder, but anywhere below the waist, just strike hard. And what it does is hurt, but also moves their midsection, their torso, away from us. So their core moves away. Their center, that's what we want. And then we hook. This one hooks around his right arm and anchors. You're really going to be grabbing it and anchors. This one does a frictional pull down the inside of their left arm. All at the same time, you do a knee strike. Boom. But the knee strike then has to turn into a knife edge kick that lands and stomps his ankle like we did in a few other techniques last week. Kick, kick, stomp. So you don't kick, snap, and land. It's an exaggerated step. It's hard not to retract your kick, but you must. It's a different type of strike. So knee, kick, stomp. That's the action. So once we're here and here, we're going to do a knee, kick, stomp, elbow. You end up here. You're not over here. Because you didn't go after his right leg, you went after his left leg. Why? Because this time we had his right side checked down. Okay? So if Lauer out of here, the first thing I always like to emphasize on this is when he grabs, watch my depth. I'm not moving back with my hips. If I move back with my hips, look, if I can put my thumbs out and move back, I haven't done that much since I moved away from him. Yeah, my arms are away from me, but if I can move my foot straight, my body straight down and my foot back, then now I'm here. I didn't move back here. Now I'm here. Much, much stronger. When we do, there's some other drills we do. So if Shalauer's facing me, if you wanted to launch, it's hard to start from this position. You're flat-footed, and you've got, in terms of depth, you're on your feet are toe-toe. If you were here, that's a little better, because now you push off something, or you have more mobility. We're just talking about pure launching. So it's you don't really necessarily want to step to launch forward, right? Because that is usually it's here, boom, boom, boom. It's like, but if you just did a quick little drop back here, hit. Now, if I did that with one, and now, so as I did that launch, that stomp back, you do a quick little strike. Now you're lined up to launch through and do whatever else you're going to do. We have this in a lot of our freestyle techniques. It's the same thing. We said if we're in this position, you just turn either way and hit with an elbow or with a heel palm, but it's a launch. So if I turn this way, or I was in a five stance, turn this way, that's also a launch. It gets one foot behind and launches you forward. This technique is the same. Look at my hips. I don't move back, that's key. I move down this way. So when I move down, boom, that's what you want. Now I've got some distance. So when he's on me, I move down, hit. Now I'm still here, and I'm launching, I'm ready to go. I wrap this up, and I don't just ignore this, I just kind of slide it down. But anchor this, and this anchor is here, here. But ideally, you're at least grabbing the gi and anchoring. Take it one step further, like we just did, grab the flesh. So grab the meat of their arm, grab that meat and start to anchor. It's a vicious thing. Later on, when you work this a few times with your partner, you will have huge marks that anyone close to you will question. So you strike, come around. But anchor that down, come here. Okay? So as we do it, it's 1, hook, 2, 3. As I kick that, I'm going to stomp and elbow. Normally, we cross-check. Normally, we kick here, so because it turns him, and I want him to turn to my backside with like a left arm, whatever. Because when we just kick here, it turns him towards me. But we've got this arm this time, so we can go cross. So after I knee, I kick across to that knee, stomp and elbow. So I'm still anchoring down, still elbowing. Okay, in here. All right? Josh, let's do it a couple times. So she moved down as she strikes, wraps up, knee, kick and elbow. the storm. Overhead club attack. They're coming on our 12. We step off to 10:30 on the 45 again. Stepping up, striking, hitting the arm that held the club. At this point, we grab their wrist with our right hand, step around with our left as we arm bar, pressing down on the elbow, wrist higher than elbow on their body, knee strike the face. Okay? Very simple technique, very universal technique. That cross block, it works against lots of different things, but we do it for this technique tonight. So see you guys. So obstructing the storm, she does 1. And now grabs the right hand on the wrist, steps around that leg, 2, and 3. And remember, when you do an arm bar, don't press at their elbow, press just above their elbow. There's something there called a tricep tendon. It not just causes pain, when you press on it, it tends to straighten their arm. Not just because of the pain, it's because of the formation of the tendon and how it's connected. So 1, and remember damage, so she's attacking the attack. Grabs the wrist, step in 2, and 3. Good. Direction, yeah. And 1. Grab the wrist, step around 2, and 3. Nice. Obstructing the storm. Very simple, but very universal in nature. Very important technique. And let's see, sleeper. So in the air, starting by stepping in block. And again, you can step in or step back, but we can start by stepping in. Forward bow, rich hand up the side of the neck. You're going to circle around their leg to stomp behind their leg as you choke them. We step off slightly so this doesn't turn into a hip throw. If you stayed up here with your foot, you have to really throw them over your hip. It turns into a hip throw. Take that pressure off just by stepping off slightly. Now it's more of a trip. Lock out your leg. Do not slide your foot out. Simply pivot to a forward bow. Throw them straight down here. Shuffle in, knee drop on their body. Boom, vertical punch to the face. So guys, do this one and by the numbers. So 1, 2 is the rich hand. 3, come around, grab and stomp. 4, step off. 5, throw down. So she's locked out in forward bow, shuffles in, right knee drop, and punch. Okay, opposite direction. And 1, and 2, 3, come around, stomp, choke, and step off a little bit, and 4, and strike. Okay, good. So again, when we're doing this, when you make your block, there's a lot to talk about in sleeper. So we'll go through a shorter version of it, but we're block strike. That next move, your hands are coming around and striking with your rich hand, grabbing your own hand, and then squeezing. Squeezing is another strike. But we're coming around, so as I do this, I'm coming around this way. My feet are coming around and stomping. And when you do it together, that's really what you're doing. You're striking and coming around. Boom. As soon as you hit, come around. So what's actually happening there is we're striking. So for this position, we strike. The original sleeper said hook behind, slide up, and just grab your own wrist and squeeze. Original sleeper was just here and squeeze, right? But we're not doing that. So we're striking. Technique gets its name from making him go unconscious. So this is a strike. Yes, hopefully he'll get dizzy and want to pass out. The next move though is really important. When you come around, remember, I'm coming around, striking the back of his calf, the back of his thigh and his calf. Boom. So that starts bringing him down a little lower. As that hits though, bop, I'm actually striking him a second time. It's not written, there's kind of an extra, but you already hit him once. As this happens, I'm hitting and then settle. The settling isn't, we're not just squeezing. As I settle, I squeeze him in. Now this is really a head and arm choke. So my hand here is up against his neck, choking him. When you come in and squeeze, his own arm is choking against the right side of his neck. It's a head and arm choke. So a lot of you grapplers out there, we have it in our grappling system. I had it before I came to Kenpo. Head and arm choke, what we're doing from the stand. So from that position, off angle slightly, now just turn and locking this leg out as it buckles his leg. Boom. Just locking it out, he goes down. shuffle in, just kneel on him to check him, and hopefully hurt him. The other arm's checking, punch. Okay, let's do that in the air, Josh. So step in your block, come around, and then come around. That's a big move. It's a horse dance, transitional horse. But that was a strike, grab, squeeze. That squeeze to the side of your body, very powerful. So it's not just a squeeze, it's strike, strike, and then pop. So you pop it and settle, very strong. Step off, throw down. Okay? And in the air. 1, 2, come around 3. Step off. 4, 5, 6, go. Good. All right, let's move on. Cross of destruction. 2-hand choke from the rear. Good. So we're grabbing your hands, much like falling cross last week, and we're going to pull down their thumbs to break the thumbs across my neck as I step off my left foot. And as I do that, I break the thumbs and turn this way this time, instead of this way. We turn this way. Okay? So the main thumb we're trying to break is this one, because I'm going to go underneath it. So as I grab, I step off, break. That raises, the thumb you're hurting the worst is their left. It raises their left hand, their left elbow up in the air. Now step back on your 45 as you take your right hand, which is also their right hand, underneath your left. You come to here. You're pulling with your right, as you step to reverse, as you just did this step to reverse, pull them. That's energy, it's power. Pull and push at the same time. Now they're totally crossed up. Then reverse it, boom. Break their arm with their own arm. And then kick and land. Okay? So, we grab, let's do it in the air, grab, step off to with your left foot and turn. And elbows down, anchor those elbows. Neck pressing against their thumbs. Step back to your right foot, pull and push their arms, now push and pull their arms. And then kick the knee. Alright, good. And just real quick, I'll do it first on you. So we're here, I'm grabbing, I step off, which gives me power. I then rotate, which gives me a lot of power. And I turn. So I'm trying to get these down, and I press my neck against this thumb. This thumb is the one you're trying to hurt, so it raises that elbow up, and that gives me a little bridge to go underneath. Boom. As I step back, it's a lot of power, so pull, push, and then push, pull. So you're breaking their left arm with their right arm. It's not only painful, it's embarrassing. So from there. From here, boom, kick the knee, and then set them on their way. Okay? So that's got to be, boom, break the thumb this way. Not breaking the elbows. That invites a choke, an arm choke instead of a hand choke. Then step back. Push, pull, push. Kick. Okay? Let's go ahead and move on. And we are at bow compulsion. So right hand is out. For whatever reason, you had your hand close enough to the opponent where they grabbed it and started trying to bend it into a wrist lock. Step in. That principle, again, is called purposeful compliance. If they're trying to take us in and down, you go in and down with them. Enhance the action, borrow the force, boom, hit them with an elbow. One more time. So you're here, bring your other hand up to physically check the hands that have your hand. You check and try to hit in and slightly up. Drop to a wide heel, rip out. Lift up, using the strength of your legs, back up to the groin. Pivot to a closed kneel, back over the inside of the left knee, punch the inside of the right knee, and you're out. Okay? One time you got it? So her hand's out. 1, she steps into hits. 2, rips it out, and her left hand is still checking out in front of him. And then 3, strike. Now back on goal, the close nail. Punch, the other close nail, and she's out. Now opposite side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, good. All right, let's move on. And now we're on the greens. And let's see, shield and mace. Shield and mace, technically, I remember asking Mr. Parker, we're always intercepting that strike coming in. Always. We never just move target and not move weapon. We always do something with our hands instead of, just moving our feet. He says, yeah, what if you can't? For whatever reason, you got something in your hands. your hands, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. He says, learn how to just get out of the way. Learn how to get out of the way and get those hands. So let's say you can't get your hands up right away to block the right punch coming in. Get in the habit of at least getting out of the way, so it breaks it down for you. So get out of the way. Okay, you have a fully rotated left neutral bow that's not 50-50 anymore. I'm rotating and I'm transferring weight. Get out of the way of that punch. Then rotate completely. Whoom. Outward block to the back of the right arm, just above the elbow, and a punch to the ribs. Then, of course, we're going to change the hands, adjust our left foot if need be, and go to a kneeling stance. Now I'm getting down to the kidney. And again, we're hitting on a 45-degree angle, not on a 90 for our angled instance. We're hitting on a 45, but I want to use the marriage of gravity. Checking down, come around, claw the face, come in, hand towards the back of the knee, kick out the other one, and you're gone. So later on, you will go. And almost immediately, Mr. Parker was telling me, but you know, at the time I was already third black belt or something. He was saying, yeah, but you know, Brian, as you start moving, you can come up and start blocking it there, intercept it, and just turn into it. But teach it. 1, 2, and then 3. Come around, 4, 5, and then 6. Boom. Ready? One time. And 1, 2, 3. Check the arm down, and 4, 5. And kick. Boom. Opposite direction, and 1, 2, 3, check arm down, 4, 5, and kick. Nice. Good. And move on to Defying the Storm. Right roundhouse club attack. Stepping in, striking. Much like Five Swords, where you have hands closed, hitting wrist and hitting bicep. Now both hands open, hitting wrist, hitting bicep. And this next part is key. Grab wrist. We were doing the extensions of the black belt material a few days ago on one of our other videos. We talked a lot about this, but we'll just hit on it. When someone's standing up straight, you can hurt their elbow pretty good, but you can't hurt their shoulder too good. Not from a push-pull position. But you can hurt the elbow. So once you stun the elbow, grab wrist and hook behind their elbow. Do not step back to 6 o'clock. 12 o'clock is right in front of me. I step back to 4:30. Boom. I pull and push. Immediately, knee and circle around. Okay? I want to hit this this idea here. Once, go this way. So as he comes in, to stun their arm by striking. Once you weaken it even a little bit, get that, just start to pop it, but don't think you can step all the way back there. It's a long way to go with a big, strong person who's not out on their feet yet. They're just a little bit like, that hurt. A little stunned, a little surprised. But push, pull back this way. Now look, as I push, pull to break his arm, any human being is going to try to release that pressure by just coming forward with their body. So what's going to facilitate that? I have it here. I have to stop their body coming forward to facilitate the rest of my break. So I stop it with my knee strike. So once you come to here, I pull it. The last minute I shoot my knee strike in, boom. That's what's breaking that arm. That little boom. It's stopping his body with my knee. His forward momentum, his mass can't come forward anymore to relieve pressure. This one breaks. And then you hit. Okay? Good. Dots real quick. So that knee coming up, finishing the break. Finish the break and come around the elbow. Ready? And she steps in and stuns his arm. Grabs the wrist and elbow. Steps back. And then knee. Boom and elbow. Good. Opposite direction. And she stops the arm. Boom. Grabs, steps back, and knee and elbow. Nice. All right. Snaking talent. Snaking talent. There's again, another technique that I've learned a lot of versions of. And even now, teach it in ideal phase. And then there's lots of fun things to do with it. But don't play around with those right away when you teach it someone. The principle is, you started to do your move, and everything you did was perfect, but the person kept on coming in. That's kind of what this is based on. So 2-hand high push or left-right punch. We do it for 2-hand high push. Draw it back. 1, striking there outside of the left arm. As you circle around to do a downward outside downward diagonal hand sword, I pivot, boom, slide back to my cast stance. Grab the wrist, pull it down as you kick, boom. At that point, we're assuming the kick landed perfectly, but the person just kept coming in. So kick, and then front cross. Get rid of the arm, and just put it to the side. It doesn't really matter. See? But if he's still coming in, I don't want to kick and then fall back in this position. They can come forward better, faster than I can go backwards. So once you do the kick, you have to deviate your angle. Now he's coming here, I'm off to the line of attack. We're assuming they're still coming through, maybe slow down, but not stop. Turn. Now I've got a good angle to deliver my weapons. Boom. And then another one. Good. One more time. And get that nice neutral bow, cast stance. It's the beautiful, nice figure 8 with the hand sword. Ready? In the air, and 1, 2. Pull and kick. From cross, unwind, kick, and kick. Good. One time. Mr. Lauer is going to push Dasha. She steps back just to the neutral. 1. That's the first move. That should damage his arm. It's not just slapping it away. It's striking. She goes to a cast stance and strikes and then grabs. So she struck it and then grabbed it. Kicks, and we're assuming, yeah, he kept coming in. Now she spins and kicks. Boom. Nice. Okay? Take it down. And wings of silk. So arm lock from behind. Okay? When they have their arm locked from behind, our elbows are up here, but our hands are not pinned. We can do things with our hands. And they have not really checked out our width and our depth much. A little bit of height because they're trying to pull us up a little bit. But they put our hands right in position. Anyway, fake one way like we do in so many Kenpo techniques. So you start with one way, because if you go one way, they start going that way, or they try to fight against that action, they go back the other way, which is the way they're trying to pull anyway. So fake a little bit, and then boom, hit. It's boom. 4 things are happening. Stomping on their foot, and I already had my thumb, I'll do it on Mr. Lauer in a second, up in the crest of their hip. Sometimes, I was always learning hit the nerve on the thigh. It's hard to find, especially on big thighs, and nerves are hard to find sometimes. So you dig your thumb, the crest of your hip, feel your hip bones right here, the crest of your pelvis rather, your hips down, the pelvis is right here, you feel it. Press the fingernail, the thumbnail into that joint, that bone, and you'll feel it. When you get it right, go, oh, that's it, yes. So your hands are right there. You're going to press hard your left hand on that, stomp on their foot, as you slightly go to the left, and now that should line you up a little better to do an elbow strike to their jaw and a hook kick to their groin. Heel kick. So you're going, hands are up already. I fake and go 1, 2. So it's 4 strikes. There's 2 strikes, there's 2 strikes. As soon as you hit it from cross, you go through this real fast, but still, technically you front cross, unwind, step, and break their elbow. Hooking down and punching up. Okay? So one time in the air. She's in front. So her arms are back. So see her hands, I'll do it on him in a second. Her hands are already kind of up, and she fakes right and goes left, comes out, slips out, and boom, wings of silk, right? Silky smooth. So your arms slip out, your wings, your arms slip out of their grip. Only though after you've tenderized them a little bit. So if we're in this position, he's grabbing there. See my hands are already up here? My thumb, I want to dig my thumb into his body. Even if I don't have the crest of the pelvis, even if I don't have it, I'm going to go, hey, where are you? You know, anyway, but just get it on the body and dig in. As I dig, I'm going to stomp on that foot. So that's the first move. But really, as you start coming around, it's this one I'm trying to get hard. Boom. And this one, as I slip, bang. So these 2 I'm trying to get. This is kind of easy, and this is dig into wherever you can. So here. Okay? So if we're here, I'm in the air, you're here, it's this. Just get it. Just get it right on their body here. They're behind you. And dig it in. Literally dig in that thumb as you fake. And then as you fake, you get your thumb in the right position. Wherever it is, though, dig that thing in hard. And then stomp and go. Okay? All right, one more time with Dasha on the knife. And fake right, go left, come around, and boom. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. All right, so work on those. That's your techniques. Yellow belt through green belt, curriculum of the week here at Brian Hawkins Kenpo Karate. And in a couple days, we'll post another one, which is the 3rd round through first black of the curriculum of the week. And then on the weekend, we'll do black belt extensions. All right, you guys, very good. Feet together.